My name's Daniel. I'm 24 now, and for as long as I can remember, I've been that person in the family. The one everyone leans on, tech issues. I'm the guy, emotional meltdowns. Somehow my shoulder's always available. Need a financial safety net? Guess who's the unofficial ATM? I left home at 20 and have been living solo ever since, working a steady remote job in design. It pays the bills, gives me a sense of control, and, most importantly, keeps me at a safe distance from the family circus. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not all terrible, not all the time anyway, but when it comes to laying on the guilt or pulling out their passive-aggressive playbook, they could teach an advanced seminar, especially my mom. There's this polished charm she carries that fools most people on the outside. Soft voice, warm smile, that caring mother aura that makes strangers think she's practically a saint, and she can be sweet when there's something in it for her, but the second things don't unfold the way she wants, that mask slips right off. Growing up, I was constantly reminded that any success I had was only possible because of the things she gave up. Anytime I so much as hinted at wanting to do something on my own terms, she'd toss out lines like, "Oh, sure, Daniel, you've got it all figured out now, huh?" Or, "Look at you, thinking you're better than the rest of us." Still, I kept the peace. I showed up at holiday dinners, sent birthday cards, and called just often enough to avoid the dreaded, "You've forgotten about your family." Lictu. But last year, something changed. I got promoted, big step up, more pressure, yeah, but also a very noticeable bump in my paycheck. I didn't tell anyone right away. Not because I was hiding it, but because I knew exactly how that would play out. My family has this uncanny radar for money. The moment they even sniff that you're doing better, they start circling like sharks smelling blood in the water. Unfortunately, I slipped. My younger sister, Nora, she's 19, came to spend a weekend at my place. We were having dinner when a notification popped up on my phone, a bank alert for a direct deposit, bonus, and it was a good one. She saw it. Didn't say anything immediately, but I saw her eyes light up like she'd just stumbled across buried treasure. For the rest of her visit, she started asking these oddly pointed questions. "So, work's been treating you well, huh? And must be nice not worrying about rent." Then she got into budgeting apps. Asked if I still used one, and if I could help her with hers, real subtle stuff. But I've seen this pattern before. I knew where it was headed. Sure enough, about a week later, I got this group text from my mom. Subject line: Family Valkyrie 2025. Attached were images of a beach resort, swaying palm trees, sun-soaked lounge chairs, even a sample itinerary. The message? It's been forever since we all did something together. I found this amazing deal. If we book by next week, time to make some memories again. I stared at my phone for 10 minutes, trying to process it. Not because they wanted to plan something. That would have been fine. The kicker? There was no invitation, no question, no attempt at a real conversation. Just assumption. I scrolled back up and saw my name already penciled in under room 2, Daniel. So I replied, "Looks nice. Who's paying for all this?" Mom didn't miss a beat. Her response: "We were thinking you could take care of it. You've been doing so well lately. It'd really mean a lot to the family red heart." Now, technically, yeah, I could have paid for it. Wouldn't have been easy, but with some juggling, I could have made it work. But that wasn't the point. There'd been no discussion, no consideration, just this blanket expectation that because I'd managed to get my life somewhat together, I now owed everyone a luxury vacation. I didn't respond right away. Cue the follow-up calls. First came Nora. "Come on, Daniel, don't be like this. We never get to do anything fun as a family. It's not like we're asking for Paris or anything." Then Mom: "You always say family matters, but when we actually try to be a family, you vanish." And then, as if on cue, my aunt chimed in with a voicemail about how family is everything. How money comes and goes, but memories last forever. The full guilt trip starter pack. After sitting with it for a few days, I sent a simple, direct text. "I appreciate the idea, but I'm not paying for the entire trip. If you all want to plan something manageable, we can split the costs." No drama, no rant, just facts. That didn't land well. Mom called almost immediately and launched into full emotional blackmail mode. "I carried you for 9 months, Daniel. I gave up so much for you. And this is the thanks I get? Over one little trip?" She threw Nora in there, too. "She's just a kid. She deserves something special. Or are you just too good for us now?" I wanted to yell, I really did, but I didn't. I just said, "I'm not paying, end of story." Silence. Then a couple days later, my phone buzzed with a credit card notification. Over $2,000. My heart stopped. I assumed it was fraud. Called the bank. Turns out the charge was for 3 airline tickets, all in my name. I was floored. Called the airline. Asked for the travel details. Yep, the dates lined up exactly with Mom's vacation plan. Same airport, same destination. I asked who booked the tickets. The rep said, Elaine Myers. My mom. So I called her. She answered like everything was perfectly normal. Dunyed, you're gonna love the hotel, ocean view, and everything. I said, you used my credit card. She actually laughed. Well, I had a lock in the reservation. Don't be so dramatic. We were gonna pay you back eventually. No, Mom, you used my card without permission. She sighed. Oh, Daniel, really? And right there, that was the moment something in me just snapped. I didn't argue, didn't yell. I just said, cool, and hung up. Then I opened my banking app, disputed the charges, canceled the card, and ordered a replacement, called the airline again, reported the tickets as fraud, and asked to have them flagged. It wasn't quick. I had to jump through a bunch of hoops, but finally they confirmed the tickets had been canceled, no refund. Non-refundable fare, sucks to suck. I didn't say anything to them. I waited. An hour later, Nora called. You canceled the tickets? I stayed quiet. You're joking, right? We were literally packing. Still nothing from me. Then Mom called. No sweetness this time, just rage. You didn't really think you were coming, did you? She snapped. You're not part of this family anymore. I smiled. Cool, I said, and I hung up again. But of course, it didn't end there, because just 2 days later, a letter showed up in my mailbox, supposedly from my mom's lawyer, or more accurately, someone pretending to be a lawyer. The letter accused me of something called financial interference and claimed I had caused undue emotional distress by reversing the charges and canceling the family trip. That was when things officially took a turn for the bizarre. At first, I laughed. I mean, how could I not? A letter? From a lawyer? It was printed on plain printer paper. No logo, no letterhead, no firm name, nothing remotely professional. Just a wall of dramatic nonsense filled with phrases like failure to comply and familial negligence. I mean, who writes like that? The sender's name at the bottom? Douglas V. Hale Yeskew. It sounded like the villain from a bad 90s courtroom drama. I couldn't help myself. I Googled him. Nothing, no law license, no business listing, no website. The man might as well have been invented by ChatGPT on a caffeine bender. Unless Mom found some back alley legal template on Reddit or hired a cereal box attorney. This Reynolds guy was about as legit as a soap opera storyline. Still, it rattled me. Not because I believe it was real, but because of how far she was willing to go. That quickly, I started to wonder, was this really just about some canceled tickets? Or was I now the person who represented everything she hated? The one who got out, the one who didn't need her anymore. The next few days were quiet, too quiet, that kind of uneasy calm you get right before a thunderstorm, when the wind dies down and the sky holds its breath. No calls, no texts, not even a half-hearted, hope you're doing well, laced with passive aggression. You'd think I would have enjoyed the break, right? Instead, it felt like I was standing in the middle of a minefield, just waiting for something to blow. Then it came. I was brushing my teeth when my phone started lighting up like a Vegas slot machine. Ping, 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 message after message in the family group chat. But now it wasn't just Mom and Nora. Suddenly the chat had ballooned to 8 people. My cousin Ty was in there, Aunt Gloria, Uncle Dean, 2 others I didn't even recognize at first glance, apparently. Word had spread, and now I was the subject of a full-blown family intervention via text. Gloria chimed in first. Daniel, sweetheart, we know your mom could be a little intense sometimes, but this could have been such a special time for everyone. Why ruin it over a bit of money? Then Ty, wait, you reversed the charges? Seriously? Couldn't you have just said no like a normal person? And my absolute favorite, Dean, who I hadn't spoken to in at least 3 years. Honestly, sounds like you've got some deep bitterness you haven't dealt with. Therapy might help. Therapy, because I didn't want to be conned out of $2,000. I started typing a reply. Deleted it. Tried again, deleted that too. What could I even say that anyone would hear? Eventually, I landed on this. I didn't agree to this trip. I said no. More than once, my card was used without permission. So I reversed the fraudulent charge. If that looks like me blowing things up, then maybe I'm just enforcing some overdue boundaries, and if that's a problem, then I think we all need a little space. And I left the group. About 15 seconds later, Nora texted me directly. You're really doing this? I didn't answer. Another message followed. You were always the favorite. Mom bent over backward for you. And now one little thing, and you act like we owe you the world. The favorite, that one hit a nerve. I thought about all the nights I stayed in to watch her when mom went out, the time I worked late every day for 2 weeks just to cover her phone bill, or when I missed my own college graduation because mom said she was too sick to drive, only for me to see Facebook photos of her wine tasting with friends less than an hour away. It had always been the same script. Daniel, don't be selfish, Daniel, be a team player. Daniel, this family matters. As long as I said yes, I was loyal. The minute I started saying no, I became the problem. But then came the part that made my stomach drop. The next day, my manager pinged me on Slack, casual. Hey, can we hop on a quick call? I assumed it was project related. I grabbed my coffee, joined the video chat, half listening until I saw her face. Serious, like HR serious. Hey, Daniel, she began. Just want to give you a heads up. We received an email this morning. I blinked. From who? She hesitated. Someone claiming to be a family member. They accused you of committing fraud and warned us not to trust you with sensitive client information. I went cold. She continued. They even attached what looks like a police report. Obviously, it's bizarre. I told HR it was clearly personal, but I had to pass it along just to document it. When the call ended, I didn't move, just sat there, staring at my screen. I wasn't even angry, at least not right away. What I felt was nothing, just this hollow, quiet disbelief. This wasn't about the trip anymore. This was about control, about retaliation. My mom didn't get her way, so now she was trying to burn down my life, one accusation at a time. She wanted to paint me as unstable, untrustworthy, dangerous, and the worst part, she didn't even hesitate. After that call, I opened my email and typed her name in the search bar, just to see what else might be waiting for me. And there it was, an email sent 2 hours earlier. Subject line, you left us no choice. There were attachments, screenshots of old texts, pulled completely out of context, a blurry photo of me at a bar 3 years ago, laughing with a drink in hand, a Word document with the words formal statement in bold at the top, like a middle school attempt at legal intimidation. And then the body of the email, just one sentence. Actions have consequences. Daniel, you'll see that soon. My heart started pounding, not with fear, with something deeper, something hotter. I'd spent years swallowing my words, playing peacemaker, trying to be the good son. I'd forgiven more than I should have. I tolerated things I'd never let a friend tolerate. But this was war. And I wasn't going to sit back and let her torch my life to prove a point. That night, I didn't sleep. I tried, laid in bed with my eyes wide open, staring up at the ceiling while my mind ran like a tape on fast forward. Memories, so many. Birthday parties where I was told I wasn't being grateful enough. Arguments about money in the middle of the night. My mom crying after Nora crashed my car, blaming me for not watching her better. It all played in a new light now, rewritten by that one email. You'll see that soon. She hadn't just crossed a line. She'd set fire to the whole map. By morning, I had a plan, not revenge, not yet, that would come. First, I had to protect myself. I called HR, got Renee on the phone. The rep my manager had mentioned, I told her everything. Clearly, calmly, the fake lawyer, the family threats, the escalating harassment. She didn't sound shocked. We've seen things like this before, she said. Family can get messy. She assured me the company had flagged the situation, blocked any future emails from my mom's address, and documented the harassment as a precaution. They were on my side for now. Next, I called my bank again, confirmed the original reversal had gone through. Then I asked them to block any further charges from the airline or the agency mom had used, just in case. Then I locked everything down. New passwords, two-factor authentication, every account, Venmo, PayPal, even my dusty old Facebook, anything that could be twisted, weaponized, or impersonated. I sealed it shut. I deleted the email from my mom, but not before I saved everything, screenshots, attachments, backups, just in case. It was around noon when the next surprise arrived. A knock. Not gentle, not neighborly. This was the kind of knock that dared you to pretend you weren't home. I checked the peephole. Nora. Alone. I waited 5 seconds, 10, then cracked the door, just enough to meet her eyes. She didn't smile, didn't say hello. Can I come in? She asked. What do you want? I said. She sighed. To talk, just 5 minutes, please. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She looked worn out, smudged mascara, a tired ponytail that had clearly survived multiple days of regret. But her expression wasn't apologetic, it was cold. She sat on the edge of the couch like she still owned a piece of me. I didn't know she was going to take it that far. She said, finally, the email to your job, the fake lawyer, that wasn't the plan. I blinked. Plan? She flinched barely. Okay. Bad word choice. I just meant Mom thought if we pushed a little, you'd come around. Say it was all a misunderstanding. You know how she is. Yeah, I said, I do. But then you canceled the tickets, and she just snapped. I folded my arms. So you drove all the way here to tell me that? Nora's mouth tightened. No, I came to warn you. That caught me off guard. She's talking to Aunt Renee now. And Uncle Fred, she's spinning this story that you're isolating yourself, cutting everyone off, trying to make you sound unstable. I gave a dry laugh. That ship already sank. No, Daniel, she said, you don't get it. She's telling them you're spiraling, that you're having a breakdown. She even brought up Dad. I went still. Our dad died in a car accident when we were kids, but in the years after, Mom quietly rewrote his memory, said he'd been off, unreliable, moody. She never said crazy, but the implication hung in the air like smoke. And now she was using that same story on me. She told Aunt Renee you might lose your job, that you're lashing out, said she's worried about your mental health. And you believe that? I asked. Nora hesitated. No, she said, but it was too late. Her silence had already answered me. You came to warn me, I said, or to see if I crack? She stood up. I came because she's scary like this. Daniel, you cut contact when she gets like this, but I live with her, I get the aftermath, and this time she's not just mad, she's focused. I walked to the door and opened it. Then maybe it's time you stopped living with her. Nora didn't move. She'll turn on you eventually. I added, you know that, right? Her eyes flickered, but she didn't argue. When she finally left, she didn't slam the door. She didn't cry or scream. She just walked out, got in her car, drove away. And then, silence. I didn't hear from her again. But the next week, that's when everything started to truly unravel. It started with my landlord. A voicemail. Hey, Daniel, bit of a weird one. Your mom called the office this morning, said she was your emergency contact and needed a copy of your lease, claimed you were being evicted and she was helping you move out. He paused. I told her that wasn't true, obviously, just wanted to give you a heads up. Then the bank again, a new attempt to open a joint checking account with her name on it, and then a message from my friend Jude. And that was the one that hit different. Bro, your mom just added me on Facebook. She's been DMing me, asked if I've noticed any changes in your behavior. I didn't respond. I didn't need to, because that's when I knew she wasn't just trying to punish me anymore. She was trying to rewrite me, recast me as this unreliable, paranoid, vindictive version of Daniel, the villain in her story. She wanted everyone to believe she was the victim, and I was the problem. It was textbook. If she couldn't control the real me, she'd fabricate one and broadcast him to the world. But what she didn't know, what she still doesn't know, is that I've been documenting everything. Every message, every email, every attempt to sabotage my job, my housing, my finances, every name she dragged into it, every lie. I wasn't just playing defense anymore. I was preparing to strike back. Over the next 2 weeks, I did something I never thought I'd do. I lawyered up. His name was Colby, not flashy, not aggressive, just sharp like glass and calm like a surgeon. He specialized in family legal disputes, digital harassment, defamation. After our first meeting, I sent him everything, the full dossier, emails, texts, voicemails, screenshots, even a fake lawyer letter. He was impressed. Daniel, he said, flipping through the folder, this isn't just family drama. This is targeted harassment and that employer email that might cross into legal territory. That's when things shifted. We filed a cease and desist. It was clean, precise, zero emotion. It cited specific acts: impersonation, attempted financial fraud, reputational damage. It made one thing clear. Any future contact with me, my job, my landlord, or my friends would result in escalation, civil action, full stop. The letter went out, certified mail. 3 days later, silence. Then, like a dying fire flaring up one last time, she called. I didn't answer. The voicemail was cold, measured, like she was reading from script. I got your letter. I suppose this is who you are now. It's just sad. You used to be such a sweet boy. I hope one day you'll understand what you've done to this family. Click. No apology, no ownership. Just another guilt trip, neatly folded into victimhood. I blocked her number, changed mine a week later. Updated every password, froze my credit, removed every family member from my socials. I even asked HR to flag any external communication involving my name. They agreed instantly. As for Nora, she texted me 2 months later, new number, just one line. You were right, she turned on me. I didn't reply, not out of spite, out of peace. Real peace, the kind you feel when the last ember of a house you should have left years ago finally dies out. In the end, Mom didn't get her vacation. She didn't get her money. She didn't get her leverage. All she got was silence, the kind louder than any apology I could have given. She lost her script, her audience, her power. I didn't just walk away. I shut the door. For good. And let me tell you, the air's a lot cleaner on the other side.